Alright, so we're doing fractions, multiplying and dividing, so we're going to be using Sleeping Man, so I'm going to draw that big up here so we can see that. Now, from our notes yesterday, we have to take the mixed number and change them to improper first. So we do that by multiplying. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Keep the denominator. This is not a mixed number, but it's a whole number, and we have to make it improper in order to be able to multiply, so we just put a 1 underneath it. If you have a whole number, you just put a 1 underneath to make it an improper fraction. Multiply straight across. 7 times 8 is 56. 6 times 1 is 6. We can reduce this by half. Half of 56 is 28. Half of 6 is 3. Then we can say, okay, how many times will 3 go into 28 evenly without going over? And that is 9 times, because 3 times 9 is 27. Now what's left over is the difference from 27 to 28, which is only one number, and we keep our denominator. If you wanted to go back and check yourself, you could. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28, and then the denominator is 3 still. So to check my answer for my sign, we have a positive and a negative, so positive and a negative gets covered up. I end up with a negative left over. All right, and then for the next one is division. Division works a little bit different, but we still have to change it into an improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Now for a fraction, we have to do what we call keep, change, flip. We keep the first number, we change this to multiplication, but then we flip this second fraction. If you don't flip the second fraction, then you're not doing it correctly. You have to turn it upside down like this. 8 times 4 is 32. 5 times 5 is 25. Nothing can be reduced at that point, so I need to figure out how many times will 25 go into 32, and that is 1 time. Now, how many is left over is what my numerator is. So 25 goes into 32 1 time with 7 left over, because 25 and 32, if you subtract them, there's 7 in between, and then I keep my denominator. Now to check my sign, I have a positive and a positive. So my answer is positive. The reason why this is my final answer is because there's no reducing to be done. So I'm going to circle it and be done with it. Okay, now this last one is a little bit more complicated because we have a little bit more work to do here. We have some things to change up here. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 makes 20. And then I have 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 2. Now again, this is dividing, so I'm going to do keep, change, flip. Keep, change, and flip. 20 times 2 is going to make 40. 3 times 7 is going to make 21. So I need to reduce if I can reduce. I don't see any number. 3 and 7 are the only two numbers that will go into 21, and 3 nor 7 will go into 40. So I'm just going to go straight to putting it back to an improper or mixed number. 21 will go into 40 1 time without going over. And then I'm going to go over here and do my subtraction to see what the difference is there. Looks like it's 19. So 19 is going to go in my top number. 21 is going to be my denominator. Now I'm going to look at Sleeping Man. Negative and a negative. As weird as that is, when you have two negatives being multiplied or divided together, negative and a negative, you actually end up with a positive answer. So my answer is going to be positive. 19 over 21 cannot be reduced. So there is my answer.